Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through every Wednesday night. New topics ignite, join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to Life Chat Podcast. And thank you for taking the time out to gain a little information about life itself. And the topic for the night. The topic for the night is making the impossible possible with Miss Denise Dudley. One thing I wanted to start off by saying before we jump into the conversation with Miss Dudley is I just want to celebrate myself. Today is marks 6 months that I started Life Chat. Started Life Chat October, and this is 6 months that we've been going strong. This is my 35th episode. So I just want to pat myself on the back, But other than that, we're going to jump right into the conversation after we go through our introduction with Miss Denise Dudley. So everybody, Miss Denise Dudley, introduce yourself to the world, to our world.
Hi, my name is Denise Dudley. I'm the current Miss Delmarva 2025. I volunteer with the ACLU for the Smart Justice Ambassador Program, and I currently work for Black Mothers in Power as a substance use navigator, and constantly doing things in the community, helping out throughout Delmarva area.
And from what I understand, Ms. Dudley, you have a pretty extensive background, and you have I'm going to say, outstanding work ethic because of the things that you do and the way that you juggle them. And you're not just stuck in one zone. You do multiple things in different ways. And with that being said, I want to know how you got involved. So, got involved in everything that you do within the community, within your social life. So who is Denise Dudley? When did you realize this is what you wanted to do?
I realized this is what I wanted to do when I was living in McLean Gardens in Smyrna, Delaware. I was working with a group of children, and we had started a drill team, and I just enjoyed working with them. And from there, I started working at a program called Delaware Prevention Network, and it was helping kids learn about staying off of drugs and reaching out to their family members. And from there, I've been continuously doing it. So I've been in this field now for a little over 20 to 25 years, working in some type of form of substance abuse prevention.
And with the substance abuse prevention, was there ever a time when you were affected? Were you affected by drugs, by substance abuse in any way? Was it your own, or was it somebody that you know of, somebody that maybe a friend? Because I found that most times that's a lot of people that I know and other people that I deal with, including myself, when we dealt with those type of situations, we tend to want to give back that way by supporting other people.
So I can honestly say no, I've never done drugs before. I never smoked or drank and used any type of substance abuse before. Do I know people who has been affected by it? I think that everybody knows somebody that has been affected by it in some way, form, shaping their life. I don't know what made me get involved in it. I just seen it was there, and I was like, there was a need for it, and I just picked up and started volunteering doing it. I started as a volunteer, and from volunteering, and just opening doors to other opportunities for me.
Okay, all right. And also, you mentioned about the drill team in school, and I don't know how long ago that was. I'm not going to make any assumption, but you mentioned about the drill team in school, so we're going to go back to your like upbringing. Like how do you feel like your upbringing played a part in who you are today and the achievements that you've reached so far?
I had a wonderful mother and a wonderful father. They were both supportive for whatever I decided to do. Even all my brothers and sisters, they were supportive of what we decided to do. My mom was a social worker, so that also led the path of me to make decisions to become involved in human services also.
Oh, so it's kind of like a hereditary type of thing, huh? Or you just around it?
Hereditary, but She shaped a foundation for me to work with people. I remember my mom was working at a shelter called Wycote Shelter at the time in Dover, and she was always bringing people home and saying that they were our family. We know it wasn't our family, but she adopted them and made them our family, and that's just the way it was. And so I kind of picked up on that and continued with it.
Okay. All right. You also mentioned about being I'm going to say representative of ACLU.
Correct.
So I wanted to know, like for people that are watching, for people that are going to watch later, what is your role in the ACLU, and what was your motivation for being a part of?
So basically, Vonda Smack was one of the ones who told me about the ACLU and the program that they had. And I applied to be a Smart Justice Ambassador because I was concerned about some of the things that was happening in my community. And from there, I basically just lobbied. We do lobbying and we try to influence people to make decisions regarding probation reform. And that's one of the projects that we're working on right now is probation reform.
All right. And sometimes I think a lot of times we get stuck in certain communities. I think we get stuck in when we're talking about, like you just said, the probation reform. Can you just give a little bit, just a brief description of what that entails, like what that actually means?
So basically, there's some stipulations in probation that hinders people from moving forward. And we're trying to eliminate those barriers where a person that's on probation can have the equal opportunity to have a successful life in the community, where they're not penalized all the time for the conditions that they have right now.
And your goal, the ultimate goal of that is to do what?
To reform probation and parole. That's the ultimate goal. I'm not in the loop of the exact bill. That is above me. That is with the ACLU. They are the ones responsible for making all that happen. And we're just doing we're like the foot soldiers, trying to encourage people to know about it, get out there and inform people that, hey, this is what's happening. This is what ACLU is doing. They're working for the people, So that's what we do, informing them, hey, there is an organization out there that's for the people. Don't be discouraged that you're out here by yourself.
Right. And sometimes, that's all it takes is just somebody has to be a voice.
Right.
Somebody has to be a voice, and somebody also has to be a motivator, because a lot of times I can just, I can speak for myself. I try to speak for myself when I'm doing these episodes, but I know a lot of times I might want to do something. I might understand just a little bit about something, but I still need somebody behind me to give me a little push to actually get the ball rolling. And
Right.
Sometimes people, we don't dig enough, we don't do enough research and find out where these agencies are, who these people are that we need to contact to get that ball rolling. Is there any way that you would be able to tell us, since everything that you mentioned basically so far deals with community involvement, community work, can you basically tell us what was your motivation? What was the motivation behind you choosing this field of work, and how do you continue doing this? How do you continue going out every day and helping other people and trying to give another human being a way out?
Wow. My motivation is my five amigos, my children. They're the ones that keep me motivated in everything I do. Everything I do is for them, regardless how old they are. They will always be my babies. So I'm motivated by my children. Life has not always been easy for us. We didn't have life struggles. So I see where I have been at and the things that I have overcome, and I have faith that everybody else can overcome. So that's why I'm always trying to help. I say I'm from the people for the people. So I'm from there. I know how to give back to the people that was there for me too.
All right. Okay. And you obviously you've been pretty successful. And when I say successful, I mean just life in general, not including everything else that you've done outside and in helping other people and building that personal success. But with your description on screen, your title on screen, you have your name and then you have a title, Miss Delmarva. So you notice I use the word motivation. What is what was the motivation? What was your motivation for entering a pageant, a Miss Delmarva pageant? And I just want to add this part in too. Um, I'm 51 years old, and I remember pageants back in my, back then, back when I was younger. Um, there wasn't a lot of people of color in pageants locally that would win. Actually, not even a lot of people entered. So, what was your motivation behind for entering the pageant, and how did you handle that success?
Oh wow. So basically, so Miss Delmarva is not really about what you look like, how skinny you are, what size you are. It's about what you're doing in the community, how you're giving back. We're asked questions, and it's about ask questions, and it's how we answer them, how we present ourselves when we're walking, and it's all about poise. What motivated me to enter it? I don't know. I woke up and told my daughter I'm in a pageant, and they were like, no, you're not. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this pageant and see where it goes. And on November the 4th, I won, and I was like, oh wow, I won. So yeah.
And that's what I'm talking. Like you made this seem like it was just nothing, but to me that's a huge accomplishment, and to me that's like a historical thing. In my opinion, maybe I'm just reaching too far, but to me that's like that means it's a big deal. It's a huge accomplishment.
I mean,
So
I don't
congratulations.
stop. Thank you. I just don't think that I don't I don't have let barriers stop me from doing something. I mean, if I have this spontaneous personality, if I think that I want to do something, I'm going to do it. There is nothing that's going to stop me from doing it. I mean, if I win, I win. If I lose, I lose. If I fail at it, I fail at it. But I'm gonna keep trying at it. So
Keep trying. Yeah, yeah. Makes all the sense. That makes all the sense in the world to me. But I'm still gonna say it again. Congratulations.
thank
And
you.
you know, I just want to have a couple more questions in mind. So you mentioned about you said that you had, we'd all deal with things in our lives and this and that. But what is your ultimate? What would be your legacy? What do you feel as though you would, uh, if you could, have some say in that, and what you do? What would be Denise's legacy? What would be Denise Dudley's legacy?
My legacy, well, hopefully one of my knucklehead children go into human services work and continue the work that I've done. Um, Eventually, I would like to have my own nonprofit organization to continue to help out in the community of Kent County. So that would be my legacy, is actually opening up my own building where I can be able to have a community center, outreach center, or something for the Kent County people in Kent County.
And what is it that you actually do when you go out in the community? What type of work is that you do?
It's basically substance abuse. It's encouraging people to go get treatment, passing out Narcan kits, taking them to rehabs. That's basically what I do. I do also, like I said, I work for Black Mothers in Power, and that's one of the goals is to encourage the Black and Brown community that they need to get services and treatment and not have it overlooked or like downplay what it is.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you mentioned that because we don't always take care of ourselves in that way, and it's not just people that are struggling with substance abuse. Sometimes it's just people in general who just don't look at things for what they are, and we don't take advantage of the services, and we don't even try to research the service. So that's why I said thank you because people. We always say this: we need people that are in position and that have knowledge of certain things to bring them to light, so we can utilize them for what they are. And um, you mentioned a couple of times. Your I'm going to say what you said. I hope I don't get in trouble for this, but I'm going to say what you said. Your knuckleheads. You said you had 5 knuckleheads. That's what you said.
And they're all
But
angels. I love them.
okay, okay, that was a quick change up. But
No, because me and my
what,
children, we have a relationship where we know how we can joke and play with each other. I don't have the ordinary relationship with my kids. Me and my kids, we have a bond that ain't nobody can break and nobody can separate us. We can argue, we can fuss, we can cuss, but at the end of the day and the end of the night, we're all saying I love you. And by me calling them knuckleheads, that's just a word. That's just a term of affection for my kids.
trust me, I get it. I get it. You just basically answered what I was going to ask. I was just going to ask, how do you juggle your professional life with your family life, with your children? And you basically just answer that. And I asked that for a reason because there's been a couple of times that people uh, would be on the episode, and we would talk about family dynamic, and we mentioned how sometimes like family might, like the children might get uh, so pushed to the side, so to speak, because of their professional lifestyle, because of the parents' professional lifestyle. And that was the reason why I wanted to ask that, because not only do we deal with just basic life stuff on Life Chat podcast, but we also do, family dynamic is a huge thing. When do you remember, like, as far as your family dynamic, do you remember being um, just the outgoing one, the one that was always going to seek out um, information? Were you the troublemaker? Were you the brains? Were you the you know? I know for me personally, I was basically an introvert. If you can leave me in a room by myself, and I was perfectly fine with that. And didn't need a whole bunch of conversation. You know, I just wanted to ask that because I just want you to be a beacon of hope for somebody else that might never know what type of information you might pass on the episode. Who's listening, who's watching. Somebody else might have aspirations of doing what you do. And that's why I asked.
Okay. Well, I hated school, so I stayed in trouble at school and at home. Um, yeah, I hated school. um,
I was stuck on the fact that you stayed in trouble.
yeah, but my mom loved me, so it didn't matter. So yeah, so basically, I did stay in trouble in school. Like I said, I didn't like school. I felt like I was bullied in school a lot by the way I talked, the way I dressed. We weren't not the richest kids in this community or even in the school. So yeah, I was bullied a lot. So I didn't really have a lot of friends growing up. My siblings, my brothers and my sisters, they were my friends. They were my friends, and I relied on them to get me through those school years and the life. Um, I joke around at home and everything, with my brothers and my sisters. And we all have our separate lives now as we've gotten older, but we still call on upon each other, and we talk, and whatever there's an issue, we always try to be there for each other. There's five of us, so we try to look out for each other also.
Understood. That's understood. But like, so somebody posed a question. A Nation. Somebody posed a question. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You can read it for yourself, and you can respond to the question as you see fit.
Other than your kids, what is your motivation? Um, my motivation is I don't like to fail. So failure is not an option for me. I believe you have to be productive. And if you're not productive in life, then you're not motivated. So always try to be productive.
That was short and sweet, and straight to the point. And you've been. Uh, I'm just surprised. I was thinking about this earlier. I was kind of surprised that I haven't really heard a lot um, about what you do, because from my understanding, some of the things that you do are you go above and be. You have gone above and beyond, from what I understand. But I didn't find that out until recently. So I'm kind of actually, it was kind of surprised I haven't heard anything about what you do outside of, um, when you're at work, when you're doing what you're doing in the community. And
It's called being
I said it,
humble.
I said it before. Okay,
It's being
see that.
humble. I shouldn't have to tell you about what I do.
Yep.
I'm not a person who brag about, guess what I done today. No, because that means I didn't do it from my heart. So I'm not going to sit there and like preach, oh yeah, guess what I done today. I wouldn't have saved like 4 lives or put so many people in rehab. No, because that's not me. And also private, by the way, I'm a very private person. So half the time people won't even know where I work at, what I do. So you can ask my kids, well, what does your mom do? And maybe 2 out of the 5 can actually tell you what I do. So yeah, so I don't know. I can be driving down the highway and see somebody, and I'm that girl who pulls over on the side of the highway. It can be raining or wherever. I didn't took my coat off my back and during the middle of wintertime and gave somebody a coat. you don't have to hear about it, but the people in the community know about it. So as long as my name is out in the community, that's all I worry about. It's not about other people. It's about the ones that I'm helping.
All right. Okay. Okay. Now this is what I want to. This is what I want to. What I want to get to. I have another question after this too. But for your future, within the future, you said you want to have your own. You want to have your agency, or you want to have a building.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what would be the goal of what your facility would be?
It would be more like a drop-in center. I just want a community center, a drop-in center for individuals to come, a safe space for them. We do have them throughout Delaware, that, other agencies didn't have, but I want to be more impersonal. I want it to be more for the people where they feel comfortable. There's times when we do have these organizations, we have these community centers that people do not feel comfortable going to. They're like, I want to go there, but I don't want to go there because of the way I may be treated. But yeah, that's basically what it is. It's going to be a community center. It's going to be where services are being provided, where if they don't know how to apply for something, we're going to have people there that's going to do it for them. One of my big inspirations was Marion Harris. She was one of the ones Marion Harris from the House of Pride. I worked with her for years, and she was one of the ones who guided me into furthering myself, being a better person and getting out in the community and giving back. So that is she was one of my people that motivated me to do what I am doing to this day. She's my inspiration. She's the person who set the groundstone for me to continue in this work.
All right, I remember Miss Harris too. She was. I like the lady. I remember a couple of times Miss Harris actually got on me while hanging out around there. But anyway, that's another story. I have another question that was posed. I'm going to put it up on the screen. A&A Nation. This is for the host. What is something you learned or are learning about Denise Dudley? Something that I learned and something that I'm still learning about Miss Dudley is that she really is compassionate, that she really is a genuine person, genuine individual. And there's no, not seeking glamour, not seeking glory from outside, from people. It's more of a personal thing to help other people to be able to succeed, to be able to reach their goals, to be able to climb out of, I don't want to say rut, but to be able to remove themselves from the situation that they're in and hopefully live a better life. And that's what I learned from Miss Dudley. And I hope that answers your question. I tried as much as I possibly could. But yeah, that's what I got. And that's what I truly feel just from the conversation that we had. And I have something I want to ask a final question. How, for individuals that may be watching or people that may be struggling with something or people that know of people that may be struggling with something and they need a place to turn to, they need someone to turn to. How can individuals reach you, or how can you assist other people? What type of contact information do you have for people that might want to reach out?
All right. So basically, for the ones who are struggling or still going through something right now, don't give up. I can honestly say I've been there, done that, not gave up. I've been there, probably in your situation. There's been times I didn't know how I was going to feed my kids, where we were going to live, how we were going to do this. But at the end of the day, I never gave up. And I tell everybody, don't give up. It's always a brighter, it's always brighter on the other side. So the more you keep going on and trying to be productive and being motivated for you, not just for your children, but at the end of the day, I would say I'm doing it for my kids. You got to also do it for yourself. To reach me, I mean, you can always hit me on Facebook. You're in the community. You can always ask, hey, Miss Denise, and somebody guarantees is going to know who I am. And I can always drop my information, or you can drop my information later on at the end of the show, where they can always reach out and call me directly.
All right. So you heard it first. You can contact Miss Denise Dudley if you're dealing with life situations that may be hindering your progress. And that's going to be the end of our episode for tonight. That's going to conclude our conversation for tonight with Miss Denise Dudley. thank you for being on the episode of Life Chat Podcast tonight.
Thank you for
And
having
you offer some information. You offer some information about yourself, but I think you also dropped a couple of jewels for people to pick up. And I'm just hoping that people grasp. So, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you, everybody, for being on live on YouTube and Live Chat Podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you, Miss Dudley. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Be blessed. Be safe.
Welcome to the Life Chat Podcast, seeking the truth with Derek Powell, navigating you through. Every Wednesday night, new topics ignite. Join the journey, let's take flight. Bringing insights that change our view. Derek's voice, clear and true. Tune in each week, discover new light. Life Chat Podcast, reach a new height.